Yeah, here we go again. Call the Dumbulance because that Hasan Diddy Piker is hemorrhaging IQ like Jasleen popping her pussy around them white frat boys. Ladies and gentlemen, Sungrad, Justin Mark, Andrew Tate, and the Neckbeard Supreme, the Ayatollah, formerly the leader of Iran, now running like a bitch man. Telling you his career ended with the whole theater um like thing, right? Where he's pulling Hassan. Damn, I wrote all this shit down because I'm trying to sound professional. So basically, I'm trying to say like Hassan like ended his career when he pulled his gun out over like his chat, like I don't know, talking in all caps, and like that threatened him. It's like he threatened his life, and then he had to pull out a gun. And then there's this clip of him like brandishing his gun, and then the magazine falls out. I was like, what the fuck, dude? What a loser! And I think like he knows it, and like I think he's just purposefully like saying dumb shit over and over again to piss people off because like that's the only thing that gets him off anymore. Like his career's over, his life is over, his movement is over. I think like the only thing that he has left going for him is like I don't know. He could be like one of the first people to push for like the whole Muslim gay movement and shit. And I was just like rewatching, watching the follow up on that sniper dude on DJ Vlad's channel. So he was just like talking about how like yeah he got so viral off of that shit, and now he was actually surprised not a lot of people knew about it, and it's like yeah because it's the shelter thing. Like when I first heard about it, like this was probably around early 2000s and shit. I just thought that like because I'm Canadian, right? And we didn't participate in the Iraq war, so we had this like opinion. Well, me personally, I had an opinion of the Americans where I thought that they were hyper patriotic to a fault, and now we're learning that like not only were they right the whole time, but if America went into Iraq and literally just like leveled the place and like killed all those people, like it would have done the world of such a fucking favor because now those fucking losers are going to Iran to like, basically subjugate the women. And I gotta bring that shit up because they're burning mosques and shit. Like I haven't seen them burning Qurans or whatever. They're burning their burqas, they're burning their hijabs, they're burning the mosques and shit. It's getting real over there, and it's sign of the times, right? So I labeled this video Euro MAGA supporters because it's like this. It's like a thing that you hear that's so fucking utterly stupid that yeah, there could be people in the European Union and like Europeans that support Trump and stuff, right? But the vast majority of Europeans are for unlimited immigration, unlimited this and that. Like, it comes to a point where, and this, I say this with kind of like a heavy heart and conscience, but it's kind of like tough love in the sense that you cannot imbibe the poison anymore. So what I mean by that is, look, if these guys in the UK, France, Germany, Sweden, if they can't like fix their own shit and clean up their own shit, I don't think you should take them in like with open arms as immigrants and shit. Unless it's their women. If it's their women, yeah, for sure. But if it's their men, like they're gonna bring their problems with them, and plus they're gonna eventually start voting in your country's elections. They're gonna like influence people and shit. So we gotta like press these guys. You gotta make sure that like you can't be bitching out. You guys gotta fix this problem yourselves, right? And I like watching Asmongold, much to the dismay of Hassan. He wants everybody to watch him. He's like, all the slop tubers need to like, pay him homage and like, put like, um, I guess propaganda against Asmongold or whoever he's like against and shit. So it just like makes him look better and shit. As a result, oh my god. Because you know what? Believe it or not, I'm not trying to say. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I'm not trying to say I'm that much better than Asmongold or whatever, but like sometimes I don't agree with his opinions, or like I just don't understand his like his leaps of logic, if you will. At least from my point of view, right? Now, I bring that up because it's almost poetically funny how we've come to the point where it isn't just Asmongold, it's his community, dude. I'm not even kidding you. It's his community, his editors, his fan base, the people in his chat. Like his community is fucking awesome. Like this is obviously it's not perfect. They like to clown him for like for being bald or something. Like he has a receding hairline. Actually, I don't really see it that all that much. Like he just has a bit. Okay, well, like if he combed his hair back, like you see a lot more. But like you know what I mean, right? And so like he was having this discussion and somebody in chat asked this hypothetical and then somebody else answered and it was just like the weirdest shit of all like because it's like it was so true and so like refreshing to just hear it said in such simplicity that even Asmund Gold himself when he just like read it out aloud he's like um yeah true right and it's all about the whole world's response on Iran. I kid you not. Like, people talk shit on Israel. People talk shit on Trump. People talk shit on the United States military, specifically, Frogan, Denhams, like the fucking, pedophile, supporter crew and shit. Vosh. All these fucking losers and stuff. Hasan the Furry. And from now on, right, and this is what was said, it's like, how come the United States and Israel are the only people helping out, and like the UN and everybody else is just like utterly fucking useless and stuff. And like somebody commented, it's just like yeah, because you shouldn't listen to them. And so it's like yeah, and then Asmund Gold's like yeah, true. Like I'm summarizing it obviously, for sake of brevity, but it's like basically that's what that was said. That was just what was the gist of what was said, right? Um, and here we are, like I'm actually in shock about how right that comment was because you read something out aloud like Euro MAGA supporter, and then you got to take a step back. Excuse me. Um, burp. You can't look at Hasan as a credible source of information anymore. You just can't. Like the fact that like, and I know this was like years ago, with the whole Israel like Palestinian conflict. The fact that like he's just going to lie at the easiest and most convenient junction means that like yeah, you know why he's doing it. He's just doing it for the outrage. He's doing it to appeal to the pedophiles. He's doing it to appeal to the homosexuals. Because like I said, like this guy, this sniper who ran through like Afghanistan, like he was seeing some shit that was like I don't even know if I can say half of it because it's like okay, I don't really care about like monetization or notoriety or like being seen, visibility, if you will. But I don't think I feel at liberty to speak about the shit that he saw because it's like I'd rather you just go to like DJ Vlad's channel and just follow up on it if you're interested, right? Like I could probably link the video because not only is it illuminating to like the Islamic world what they really are and what they're really like, but it makes total sense as to why they would go to such lengths to like hide their involvement and shit. It's the same way that the left, like they try to play it off as innocent the second that they're about to get arrested or like dead to rights getting caught or busted or like in the case of like Tim Walsh, the retard, Tim the tampon mayor fucking walls. Tampons for men in the male's bathroom. It's because it's like they can't handle like the lies that they spewed coming back to haunt them, right? So they just fade and duck like that. And in another circumstances, it'd be like whatever. Okay, you lied. No big deal. You talk about national security, billions of dollars at risk. And some people's lives were like irreversibly damaged by these people. Like whether it's truck drivers, whether it's like, people who commit sexual assaults and stuff. Like it's no joke, right? And we're only finding out about like just how morally bankrupt and evil the political left, Democrats, the media that support them, just how evil they are. Like I said before, Bloomberg and the Telegraph, specifically the Telegraph that ran the headline against the Prince of Persia, and we have to hold their feet to the fire because they're being silent on the massacres and the hardships that the Iranian women are going through right now. Man, that's some good weed. But for real, right? What is the point of them constantly morally grandstanding you when you know beyond a reasonable doubt that like they have no morals? So like if they open their mouth to you now after the fact, like why even bother? Like that's why I'm like doubling back. I'm wondering like why the fuck do even people care about Hasan's opinion at this point? He's just a guy who's saying shit to say shit, to be heard. He's got nothing to say though. That's the problem, and people are pretending like he does, or like pretending like it's still worth it to make money off an idiot like him. And like I get that if you have the ability to make money off of him easily, right? Like you have a subscriber base that is known to watch these types of videos that appreciates this kind of content. Like yeah, okay, if we go for it, right? I just think that we should slowly come to terms with the fact that you know he's special. We also had to come to terms with the fact that I'm so fucking cool, dude. Like I don't even know how. Like maybe it's like some kind of collective consciousness. Like I smoke all this weed and shit, and as I lose brain cells, those brain cells get evaporated out of my skull, and like they magically like they enter the atmosphere and then precipitation in the water. And it rains down, and somehow it gets to other people. Because it's like just like I said about Hasan, right? Um, so one, right? The whole thing with him trying to like act tough or be young or all that stuff. Everyone's calling him out on how old he is, like how he's like 35, air quotes, looks way older. And like like how he has to constantly try to fit in with this like crowd of people which never accepted him to begin with. Like I don't even think like the jocks accepted him. And it's like I don't really fault him for that because, like I said, like back in the day, especially in the wake of 9/11, America was hyper nationalistic. So if you so much as had like Islam, like a Muslim religion, Islam in your name or whatever, like people just hate you outright. So I can't really fault him for not like finding a place to belong in America at those times and why he gravitated towards the left. But he's very much one of those guys that is living this like constant, denial life where he's like, I grew up poor. I was broke in college and I was struggling. We lived in an apartment, we had roommates and all that stuff, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, buddy. And then it comes out that he was like lying about that, and then he's just like, yeah, I grew up poor, and then like he's like riding on a horse. He has like all these like he looks fat and everything. You see his old PYT videos, he's so fucking chunky and shit. And you see his like I don't know if that's his brother or whatever when he's like see that picture with his mom. Dude, that heavy set runs in his family, and that's like probably like some of the reasons why he like finds it so necessary to like lash out at people is because he just can't eat. But I think the other one is like we're finding out in Afghanistan and probably other parts of the Middle East too. Like they be about that lifestyle, that openness, that love, that care. And they're not alone. Like the Sikhs down get down like that too. Like there's this like idea that they can somehow be seen as the heroes in the UK against the grooming gangs, and it's like, yeah, go for it. I'm all there for you because it's just like it's only a matter of time before they find out that like how many of you Sikhs are involved in grooming gangs, and you're just like bullshitting them and shit, and like, oh, it's all coming to light now because I think if the Minneapolis protests and otherwise have taught us anything about, the human race and, the new year, 2026, it is the following. And that is the idea of equality is just that, an idea. It's fiction, you know. A scientist out there, he's probably like, thinks of us as like, we're all apes. We're all like peasants. We don't know quantum physics or mathematical equations. But then you get a step lower, and then a step lower, and then a step lower, and they keep going until you can't go below that line because it's just too harsh. You know, it's just too low, and that's where we're at right now. We're dealing with like grown ass people with their kids in the car chasing down federal agents. We have grown ass men, attacking, little girls, children, stalking them in elementary schools and high schools. And we have people with like gigabytes and terabytes of CP, the child pornography, all around the fucking place. We have, what is it? Scams. We have, liars. And most importantly, we have people who are trying to run defense for the media. Like, actually, I'm a little shocked that I didn't mention this sooner, personally. But it's mostly because I'm just like blazing and shit, right? But like, so Nick Shirley, the guy who dropped the all that news on Somalia. I mean, sorry, not Somalia. The Somalian scams in Minnesota. He got into this other interview with like another well-known YouTuber named Andrew Callahan, I think. And I used to think that Andrew Callahan was like a pretty, decent guy. Like he just seemed normal until you see how censored and how taken out of context the interview was. So he recorded his own interview separately. Like he had like a hidden camera on the side, and then Andrew had his camera, and he was just like editing the fuck out of it. And I'm like, why would he do that? Like, why would you, knowing what you know now about the whole fraud in Minnesota with the Somalians, like take the side of these scammers who are scamming out billions of dollars, billions. It's more than one. I think two billion is a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying like whatever. I don't know if I'm gonna be making like $2 billion in my lifetime. Is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? But that like kind of like self-hatred of your own white race, your hatred of your own people, American, whatever. Because just like people are being silent on Iran, when you're just like taking Nick out of context with this whole fraud situation to like make the Somalians look good or to make him look bad, like you're not just like getting at Nick, you're getting at the whole country. The whole of America is dealing with this shit, dealing with like one group of Somalians here, another group of Sikhs there. The Sikh one's gonna be fucking huge, man. They're gonna be like all these fucking truck driving businesses, fraudulent car crashes, people dying, like man's running the fucking country right out of the country. Got, like people taking shits in their fucking trucks and shit. they're cutting holes in the bottom, and like they toss out the fucking remains out of the fucking bucket at the stations and shit. I'm like watching it like on this like YouTube channel, like they're all fucking grossed out and shit. And yeah, it's a coming, man. I think honestly, the idea that they came here wanting a better life, knowing what they left behind and how they left it behind, right? So in the case of Punjabis, they just like fucking litter, trash up the place, no law or order, nothing. Just come here and they think and feel the same way. It's like, oh no, fuck you people. I come from the harsh streets of pedophile Punjab. You know, you don't know what it's like there. Everyone's hairy. You don't know who your enemies or your friends are because everyone looks alike. They're all inbred. It's a dangerous place. Like, I think the lesson that we should learn from Hasan's like madness downfall is that like and I'm not gonna say like stop feeding into it, but just like stop taking it so seriously. Like the guy lost. His whole kind is lost. Like I'm pretty sure when you start justifying like mass murder and shit, like as soon as it fucking happens, as soon as it happens, and like I kid you not, I wouldn't be surprised that some of these people who are protesting are Muslim, and they probably will stay Muslim at the end of this like regime change, because that's what they're comfortable with. That's what what they're all about. They're not about like, oh, I don't want to be Muslim anymore. I don't like my religion. It's just like I don't want to be suppressed by a bunch of fucking retards who like basically starved out the country for like the past couple decades and shit. Can't farm, can't do proper trade, can't even fight Israel. Fight and lose miserably, and they have to embrace the chaos. Well, see you later, everybody. Take care.